They say the octopus has no friends. But what if they had Octomore? What's up, interwebs? I'm Connor, and this is Sorta Somme, the show about drinking alcohol and exploring it inside and out. Today, we're talking about whiskey. Scotch whiskey, Scotch single malt whiskey from Bruichladdich Distillery. We're talking about Octomore 11.3. Now, Bruichladdich began in 1888. They restored the facility in 2001, began making whiskey again. Their new aim is to kind of try and go against what the norms are. They're not like adding crazy stuff to the whiskey. They're not, making all sorts of like flavored scotch or anything, but they're doing some interesting things. First off, their main basic line from Bruichladdich is actually unpeated, which is very uncommon because they are an Isle of Scotch. Today we're talking about a super heavily peated scotch. Octomore is said to be the peatiest of the peat and has an extremely high ppm. Now, the ppm, peat parts per million. Now, I think it says here on the bottle how much ppm. Yeah, 194 peat parts per million. Now, that's measured before they distill it, so to say how much actually goes into the bottle, we can't say for sure. But the grains are heavily peated. They are leaning into that smoke, and that's vastly different from what their, I don't want to say bottom line, but their classic, the classic Lottie is unpeated and not this at all. This is a 5-year-old scotch, and it's out to hurt you. I've had this once before at my friend's wedding. I got it at the bar, and I was drinking out of a rocks glass, so I didn't really get the chance to like sit down and pull it apart and see everything that it had to offer me. But I really liked it then, and I'm hoping that that fantasy lives up now. So, I got this unopened bottle, and I am so ready to open it. Let's give it a shot. All right, so now this is 61.7% alcohol. And hold on, oh my god. I got a little bit on the edge of the bottle, now I got it on my hands, and we're gonna dissect those oils. Oh. It's smoky, salty, like pork, like undeniably like pork. That farmy smell that comes out of the pork. Oh, that's nice. Up front, just all the fucking like hits you in the face with salt and smoky meatiness. Now I remember when I was drinking this out of the rocks glass at the bar that I was getting like this dried fruit sort of experience, like a dried leathery mango. So I'm looking for that in here right now, but it might not have been the 11.3. I know that it was in this bottle. But regardless, like there's something about this smoke that is so prominent, but also just kind of like drifting up to you. It wants to hug you so it can suffocate you. Let's give it a little tasty. Mm. Mm. There is a fruitiness underneath that wash of salty black ash. I want to say melon. It almost reminds me of like a melon fruitiness. Yeah. I lost the fruit on the second sip, but it's just washing over with this briny smoke that's so heavy and thick, and it's so like full bodied kind of. I would say it's medium as far as mouthfeel goes, but the experience all the way through is very rich. So there's no spots of it that I feel like, oh, this is watery or this is no good. And this is a relatively young whiskey. 5 years old is not old for a scotch. It has to be at least 3 years old to be scotch. Oh, there's like a... Now I'm getting like a musty caramel note. Oh, it's buttery too. It's not butterscotch though, it's butter and caramel. Oh, so buttery and salty. Yeah. Yeah, dancing around in the background, there is that burnt sugar. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put a drop of water in. See how that changes things. I feel like now with the water, that like rich, like oily, like savoriness, that meatiness is coming out more. First sip is like smoky vegetation. A little bit of like a green note in there, like a, I don't know, like burnt spinach. It's like leafy vegetation that's on fire. Yeah, now the finish is less campfire smoke rolling in the breeze and more like burning leaves. I feel like to so many people this sounds like that's got to be terrible. Why are you drinking that? Well, I don't know. I like it. But I understand why this sounds terrible to some people. It's just such a like interesting kind of experience to get out of a beverage, to get something that tastes like smoked meat. If you like barbecue, you might like this. It's just something mentally you kind of got to get rid of this idea that you can only eat barbecue, because here you can drink it. I'm going to add just a little more water, see what that does. That made it really peppery. It made the Octomore very mad at me. It attacked me. It feels that I violated it by adding that water to it. Said too much. Just drink me as I come. It is a lot of alcohol. It does burn significantly. If you're not used to higher proof whiskeys, this could be an issue on top of it being smoky and strange. I hate to be like, oh, you gotta get used to it. But there is sort of, going on your own journey. And that's not to say, like, if you have the opportunity to try this, but you haven't tried a high proof thing, if it's at the right price, go ahead and try it. Don't stop me. Don't let me stop you from doing anything. Just that just know that it is a lot, is, 61% alcohol, and that it things you up a bit. It wants to fight you. It's smoky. It's high ABV. It's like, hey, what are you doing over there across the bar? You want to fight? You want to fight? And then it fights you, and you win, but you also lose. But it's a good time. It's like, you know, you know what it's like. It's like liking a video and subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell and saying, hey, what's up? It's also like drinking responsibly and coming back the next time I post a video, because that'd be pretty cool. Bye. A little funky skunk on the rim.